Hi kiddos, welcome back for story time. Happy Monday. We're gonna read, from Dr. Proctor's Fart Powder by Joe Nesbo. We're on chapter Unlucky 13. A perfect day? Nilly and Lisa danced home from school. It was a perfect day. It had started with Truls and Trim eating the Fartinot powder, which blasted them up into the sky, and continued with everyone wanting to be friends with them. Even Mrs. Strope had been in a good mood, and when Nilly had given one of his usual, unusual answers, she laughed so hard she'd cried, patted him on the head, and said that it was remarkable how many strange things he had room for in there. And this afternoon, Lisa, Nilly, and Dr. Proctor were going to sell even more fart powder, make even more friends, and eat even more Jell-O. And then, just wait for Independence Day. So, it wasn't so strange that they were dancing, because what could go wrong? Nothing, Nilly thought. Nothing, Lisa thought. Which is why they didn't give a second thought when they noticed a police car parked on Cannon Avenue. See you this afternoon, Lisa chirped. Definitely, Nilly said, practically jumping over his front gate. He ran up the steps, opened the door, and was about to go in when he caught sight of a group of people moving through the tall grass toward Dr. Proctor's front gate. There were two men in police uniforms, one of them with a Fu Manchu mustache, the other with a handlebar mustache. They both looked very determined, and between them they were holding Dr. Proctor, who was gesticulating and looked very agitated. Little Fu Manchu. Where? Mr. Handlebar. Like Yosemite Sam. Stop! Nilly yelled, leaping down from the porch and running over to the fence. Stop in the name of the law! The group stopped and turned toward Nilly. We are the law, Mr. Fu Manchu said. Not you. What's going on? Nilly asked. What do you want with the doctor? He has broken the law, Mr. Handlebar said, and we on the police force don't take that kind of thing lightly. The doctor groaned. What's the doctor's voice? They claim that they sold a deadly powder to children in the neighborhood here, as if Dr. Proctor's fart powder could hurt so much as a fly. The two policemen escorted the professor out his gate toward the parked police car. Nilly ran after them. Wait! Nilly yelled. Who said Dr. Proctor's fart powder is dangerous? The father of two boys who were blasted up into the sky by the darn powder, Mr. Fu Manchu said, opening one of the car's rear doors for Dr. Proctor. He called and said we had to arrest the crazy professor, and of course he's right. Blasting kids up into the sky like that? Watch your head there, Doctor. Go home and eat your dinner now, Nilly, Dr. Proctor said, ducking his head and taking a seat in the patrol car. I'll get this misunderstanding cleared up down at the police station. But Nilly didn't back down. Numbskulls! Dr. Proctor didn't give them powder that sent them up into the oak tree. What? Mr. Handlebar said gruffly. Well, then who did give them the powder? Mr. Fu Manchu asked. I did, Nilly said, standing in front of them resolutely, his hands on his hips. Some good integrity, Nilly. First, the two policemen looked at Nilly, then at each other, and then they both started laughing. A tiny guy like you? Mr. Handlebar laughed. We're supposed to believe that a pipsqueak like you had something to do with such a serious crime. Well, Nilly said, puffing himself up like a frog. If you'd been paying attention, then those sharp police brains of yours would have noticed that I had said the powder had sent them up into an oak tree. You didn't say anything about a tree. How else would I have known about that? Mr. Fu Manchu said, raised his police cap, and scratched his bald head he had underneath. You've got a point. So, how did you know that? Because I'm telling you what happened, Nilly hissed. I'm the one who sold them the powder, and not the normal harmless powder that Dr. Proctor sells. No sirree, gentlemen. Nellie took a deep breath and started a very long sentence. I sold them Dr. Proctor's Fardenoff powder, even though the doctor himself decided that it should only be sold to NASA, since the powder is a hyper-explosive special formula that can just be consumed in very small doses by people with at least 4 years of astronaut training, and even then they need to be wearing padding and be under the supervision of at least 2 adults. As Nellie spoke, he got madder and madder, and now he was jumping up and down. Mr. Handlebar said. And who made this, Fardenoff powder? I did, sighed Dr. Proctor from inside the car. But it's my fault that Truls and Trims got a hold of it, Nellie said. Mr. Fu Manchu said. I don't see any way out of this other than to arrest you both. Do you? I agree, Mr. Handlebar said. And that's how both Dr. Proctor and Nellie got arrested on the day that, until that moment, had seemed like it was going to be perfect. There they are, with their little plaques. Look at Nellie. Oh, man. That was a fun little chapter. The next chapter is really long, so we'll just read that tomorrow. Thanks for joining in, guys. I will chat at you tomorrow, and we'll keep reading. All right. Have a great afternoon. I'll see you later.